Hello Nintendo Wii here, welcome back to Let's Play Retro Games, and welcome to my top 10 retro games that I've played in 2018. According to Backloggery, this year has been by far the year where I bought the most retro games. I've actually this year alone managed to somehow get 255 new retro games, which is just insane, and I really feel like next year I need to dial it back a little bit because there's been far too much and I haven't even played half of the games that I bought. So with that out of the way, here's 10 of the games that I did play and I really enjoyed. Let's get started. These are in no particular order, by the way. These are just, I was looking through the list and these are the 10 games that really stood out to me, ones that I really enjoyed my time with. So the first one we're looking at here is UN Squadron for the SNES. I got this one at one of the many retro gaming markets that I went to this year, and the hype is well deserved for this game. I've heard so many amazing things about it, and it really does live up to all those amazing things that I've heard. It doesn't play like your average shoot 'em up for the SNES, it's actually kind of more in depth. There's a lot of leveling up that you can do with your different spaceships and things. There's loads of different levels and you don't even need to go to them in a particular order. It's really good, the music is outstanding, absolutely amazing soundtrack. The gameplay still holds up really well today as well, so UN Squadron definitely deserving to be in my top 10 games of the year. Next up, this game was a really nice surprise. I actually completely forgot that I even ordered it, and I don't think I've even mentioned this in any of the videos this year, so this one is an exclusive for you guys watching the Christmas episode. And this actually came from Free Turbo Disc, part of PCE Works. If you've never heard of Free Turbo Disc before, basically they're a company, and I don't know how they managed to do this, and it's very hard to actually get one from them. They actually send out PC Engine games and posters to go along with them completely free of charge. All you need to do is give them your name and address, and if you're lucky enough to be on the website when they've got some in stock, you might end up a few months later with one of these games in the post. Of course, Castlevania Rondo of Blood, or Akamajo Dracula X as it's known in Japan, is a very expensive and hard to find game for the PC Engine CD. I was so excited when I managed to get myself a free copy of the game, and it plays perfectly well in the original system. And it is one of my favourite, if not my favourite Castlevania game ever. It's that good. So I'll put a link in the description to their website and hopefully you guys might be able to get a free disc in the future. This is Shadow Warriors for the Game Boy. A really great Game Boy port of what I thought at the time was Ninja Gaiden on the NES, but it actually turns out that it's a port of Blue Shadow on the NES, which is my next game in this list. So I'll kind of put these two together because they're very similar. If you want, you can go back and watch my Let's Play of Shadow Warriors, and I haven't done a video on Blue Shadow yet, but I'll put some gameplay over this video so you can see what it looks like. Both of them are really great games. I would probably recommend the Game Boy one over the NES one, but they're only very slightly different. But they're both well worth a play. Next up here, and by far the game I've played the most on the Game Boy this year, this is Final Fantasy Adventure. The first game in the Seiken Densetsu series that went on to become Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana 2, you know, all those amazing games, they all stemmed from this incredible Game Boy original. It's a really fun game. I think it still holds up really well today. If you've played all of the 2D Zelda games and you want something a little bit different, a little bit more RPG focus, then this is the game for you. I absolutely loved it, and I was this year on the lookout for the Final Fantasy Legend games. I did manage to pick one of these up, but I haven't actually played it yet, so I can only recommend this one, but I hear great things about the Legend series as well. The next game here, one that I haven't played as much as I would have liked, but I was super excited to find it at one of the many Comic Cons that I went to this year, so I couldn't exclude it from this list. This is, I don't know how to pronounce it in Japanese, but this is For the Frog the Bell Tolls, or For Whom the Bell Tolls for the Frog, or The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls, or The Frog Tolls the Bell, or something like that. I'll put the name of it down the bottom. I've completely forgot what it's called. But it's a really interesting game. It's actually made by the same people that made Link's Awakening for the original Game Boy, and it really shows. It's a really obscure game. It was never released outside of Japan, but I did actually notice the other day when I was playing Smash Bros Ultimate that the main character from this game is actually one of the spirits in the spirit world, so that's really cool, and here's where it came from. So definitely look up this game if you're interested. There's also a Game Boy Color version being worked on by the fan community, which actually looks really, really good. So maybe next year I'll get around to actually playing it and apply the colour patch to it as well. The next game here, a game that I have never actually owned, officially. I only ever owned it on collections before this, is Sonic 3D. A really great Sonic game. I know a lot of people think this was the start of the end of Sonic, but I actually really, really enjoy this game, and it plays amazingly well on the Sega Saturn, especially with the 3D controller. I also love on the Saturn version the improved graphics, the improved music, and the amazing special stages, which are completely 3D, and were kind of what I would have liked to see a 3D Sonic game on the Saturn become, which never really became a thing, but really recommend Sonic 3D on the Saturn, or the Mega Drive if you've got a Mega Drive, but the Saturn version is far superior. So now, not quite a retro game, but I thought I'd include it. I am planning to do a proper review of it at some point in the future, but I just haven't had the time to go through it yet. I've only played about the first half an hour of the game maybe, but from what I've played I'm really enjoying it, and it's so cool to see a brand new Mega Drive game in 2018. That is Tanglewood. I'm sure you've heard of it by now. It was a Kickstarter that I backed a few years ago at this point. It's the brand new Mega Drive game, complete with cartridge, instructions. It even comes with this really nice little art card as well, and instructions in there. The game itself plays really well, whether it's on a PAL system, whether it's on an NTSC system, and thankfully even plays in the Retro Freak. So really looking forward to getting stuck into this, and expect a review on my channel next year at some point. 2 more games left. I'm going to save the best till last. The second game here is Toejam and Earl. This is a game that I actually did a Let's Play of with Dean, the Deadliest Puddle, on my channel back in April or May sometime, so there's a link in the description to that video. Definitely go and watch it if you like Toejam and Earl. There's a brand new game coming out next year which I'm really excited for. This was actually the first time that I'd ever properly owned the original game on the original system, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't really understand what to do at first, but thankfully Dean showed me the ropes and then proceeded to kick my butt, obviously. So, Toejam and Earl, amazing game on the Mega Drive. If you've never played it, definitely go and give it a chance, and definitely looking forward to the new game coming in 2019. And we end this video on a very, very special and exciting note. This is Terranigma, a game that I have wanted for many, many years. If you don't know already, and you might not because I haven't actually done a video about them yet, I'm planning to do a video on the entire series at some point in the future. My favourite game of all time, and I'll probably always stick to this, is Illusion of Time. So you can imagine my excitement when I picked up the sort of sequel to that. It's by the same developers. It's called Terranigma, and it's an amazing in-depth action RPG for the SNES, released in 1995 I think, so fairly late. It's an amazing game. I haven't played it quite as much as I would have liked to, and I think next year I'm going to go back to the start and start it all again from scratch, because it's actually been a while and I've kind of forgot where I'm up to, but from what I played, everything about this game is amazing. I don't know whether it quite lives up to Illusion of Time for me personally. That game just holds something really special in my heart, but this game does come really, really close, and I'd highly recommend it. It's such a shame that none of these games have ever got re-released, and the company Quintet that made them has kind of disappeared off the face of the planet these days. But there we go. That's the last game in this list. This was 10 amazing retro games that I played in 2018. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas, and join me just before the new year where I've got a very, very exciting announcement to share with you all about my channel coming in 2019. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to me on Patreon. You can actually watch that amazing announcement right now if you go on Patreon. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye!